Hello and welcome. My name is Lexi Jong and here I like to talk about luxury beauty. Today we are taking a look at the new Chanel Rouge Allure L'Extrait lipsticks. Now I purchased all of my items here from Jelissa and Paloma at the Aventura boutique in Miami, Florida. And I don't live anywhere near Florida, but I always order from them because I have fantastic service. I get some nice freebies in there, like samples and so forth. And, they just always do such a fantastic job. So I will leave their information down below in the description box. So feel free to reach out to them, let them know that I sent you, but top-notch service, great packaging every time. So thank you so much to Jelissa and Paloma for helping me with my order. Now onto the lipsticks. Today we're going to be talking about the new Chanel lipsticks. So these are the Rouge Allure L'Extrait lipsticks. They are refillable. They have an 18-month shelf life once opened, and they are made in France. And let's take a look at the packaging. All right, so the packaging here stays true to the Rouge Allure format. We have the click top here. You've got the Chanel CC logo here, Chanel written here. This is black plastic, gold metal, and inside, if you look inside the cap, you see the little gold CC at the very top. Now, one thing to note about these, because they are refillable lipsticks, you can purchase the refill on its own, or you can purchase the lipstick, the actual case and everything. Regardless, they don't come with your color numbers printed on the bottom. Since they are refillable, they leave the actual color on the case blank. So you just have the information made in France, 18 months, and so forth. So this is the lipstick, and let me just show you real quickly on the screen how the lipstick comes when you use it, like how far down you can originally put it. You can see here, I've put this on twice now, and you can see that you're not using a ton of product at once. And you'll see that with the swatches as well. They are very pigmented, so you really only need one coat. If you want two coats with the lighter colors, but it's a very thin formula that is highly pigmented, and that's kind of the purpose of these particular lipsticks. Now, as I mentioned, you don't have the color name on the bottom, so how do you know what color it is? Unfortunately, and this is a pet peeve of mine, but you actually have to take the refill out to read it. And they have it printed here, and they have it printed with the name, which I think is nice. I like knowing the actual name of the lipstick as well. So this one here that I'm holding is 868 Rouge Excessif. But one thing to note, in order to actually use the refill, you need the case. So you can see where it clips in here. The actual turning mechanism is in here. So if you really wanted to, you can get something, stick it in here and like twist it up to test something out. But let's face it, you're not going to do that. So at least not regularly. So you do need to have at least one case to snap these in. Now they snap in and out very easily. It's not a magnetic snap in. You actually want to make sure it clicks, and then it does roll up. And let's see how high up it goes. All right, so here is a full tube of it. All right, so looking at a full size of the Rouge Allure L'Extrait and a full size Rouge Allure, you can see that they both have about the same height, but obviously the diameter for the Rouge Allure is going to be larger. Now, one thing to note is the Rouge Allures are going to be more sheer. They're not quite as pigmented as the new L'Extrait. The L'Extrait is going to be more pigmented with one swipe compared to a Rouge Allure lipstick. And these are not refillable. So this one here that I'm holding is actually from Holiday 2020. And you can see we've got gold trim on the packaging here. That is because of the holiday. And then this one here is the new Rouge Allure L'Extrait. You can see, aside from this, you can see the size of the packaging here is going to be a little bit smaller with the L'Extrait. These are, trying not to get the glare. You can see that these are going to be a slimmer style. And the reason for that is to have more precision. So let's talk a little bit about this lipstick formula. Now, as we are discussing this, I'm first showing you a clip of the lipstick in 812 after 5 hours of wear. So this is with eating and drinking. So you can see how the color kind of wears. And you can see that this is our lightest shade. and it is still visible on my lips after all of that. So the pigmentation definitely remains. I chose to use the lightest shade here for testing purposes so that you can really tell how much color is sticking around with even these lighter shades, because as we all know, with deeper pigmented lipsticks of any type, you're still going to be able to see a little bit of that stain after a while. So this way I figure you can really tell, you know, if it's going to work with colors that most people wear every day. So according to Chanel, the application of the lipstick is good up to 8 hours. You have 12 hours of hydration and 10 hours of protection. Now, I am not completely sure what they mean by hydration and protection. For me, what I interpret that to mean is that for about 10 hours, I will still feel a little bit of something on my lips. So if something were to come in contact with my lips, there'd be a little bit of a barrier. And for hydration, I take that to mean that my lips should feel very comfortable and not dry for at least 12 hours. So that's how I am interpreting their claims. Now, other things from Chanel, they've mentioned that you have all day comfort with these lipsticks. They have nourishing waxes and ume flower extract, which forms a deeply moisturizing complex to create that comfortable feeling on your lips. There's a combination of powders and a plant-derived oil that was chosen in particular for its strong light reflecting powers. And that combination delivers luminous color, infinitely luminous color. And again, they did use a thin Stilo style lipstick to allow for more precise application of these highly pigmented colors. Now, in my opinion, these lipsticks here have kind of been a follow-up to the Rouge Coco Blooms that came out last year. The Rouge Coco Blooms are very intensely pigmented as well. They kind of set for a while. If you put it on, you can get that color to set, it stays, but it's not going to stay with that like glossy sheen, and you know, that kind of like balmy texture kind of wears away more quickly with the Rouge Coco Blooms. However, you have that intense pigmentation. I feel like this is kind of a modification of that particular formula because it is more similar to a Rouge Allure lipstick in formula and texture on your lips. It feels a little bit lighter, perhaps a little bit balmier than a Rouge Allure lipstick. It doesn't have, you know, sometimes those pigments in general and lipsticks can feel a little bit more dry than a balm type lipstick. So this does have a little bit more of a balmy moisturizing texture. Again, there are oils in here, but it's not going to be as oily as a Rouge Coco Flash or a Rouge Coco Bloom. So the oils are really, it's more of just like a thin, creamy texture, and the oil helps with the spreadability, but it doesn't feel greasy or oily on the lips. It's a really nice satiny texture on the lips. And I would say that it really feels like it's in between a traditional lipstick, or rather a traditional Chanel Rouge Allure lipstick, and something more balmy like a Chantecaille Lip Chic or one of the new Sisley lip shines. So it's kind of in between those in texture, but it's lightweight on the lips. And again, as I was talking about with the Rouge Coco Blooms, those you can get that pigment to last, but the shiny texture is very short-lived with those. And I think this is kind of an answer to that because you get that strong pigmentation. And yes, you can wear off kind of that top layer of shine, but there's still a luminous quality to the lipstick, to the stain that remains on your lips. And it remains comfortable without having any of that oily texture that you would get upon reapplying a Coco Bloom. So, you know, it's kind of merging those with a lipstick formula. And I think this is a really great product. So as you can see, I've got 10 lipsticks that I purchased here, and I also received a sample of the shade that is in the promotional photos, number 854 Rouge Puissant. So hopefully these lip swatches are helpful. Let's move on to arm swatches. All right, so we're going to start off with shade 812. This is one layer. Again, that's just a bump in my skin there, but let me just show you this built up. We're not gonna do this for every shade because it's not gonna be necessary, but you can see the lighter shades, you know, yes, they're a little bit more sheer. You'll see with the deeper shades how strongly pigmented they are on one swatch. And you can see during the lip swatches that it really wasn't necessary for me to go back in with a second layer. So that one there is 812, and it is a brown with a little bit of rose and peach in it. So it's going to be still slightly warm. This one here is 814. This is a limited edition. We'll just go ahead and do a little bit more there as well. And this is going to be a peachy shade. So this is peach with a touch of nude brown in it. And it's a really beautiful shade. You can see the luminous quality in both of these lipsticks. Here we have 818. Look at that. I mean, I think we're gonna stop doing the second swatches here because look, there's really like no difference here. But look at that beautiful shade. So this is really gonna be more of a, it's almost a rosewood, but it doesn't have quite enough of those nude tones in there. So it's like a deep rosy rosewood. This is 822. This is definitely gonna be one of the shades that I wear a lot of. And you can see that this one is just a little bit cooler in tone than 818. So this is gonna be a little bit rosier. It also looks just a little bit lighter. Here we have 824. You can see that these three shades are all fairly similar. This one here is going to be a little bit deeper and it's a little bit warmer than 822 here, which is going to be the coolest of the three. And this one here is, it's got a little bit more burgundy, but it's also going to be warmer than 822 as well. Here we have 828. And you can see that this one is going to be more of a burgundy shade, but it's not an overly red burgundy. There are some browner tones in there. Then I had to get this bright pink. This is 838. I mean, look at this shade here. This is perfect for summer. It is going to be a cooler tone rosy pink, more of a fuchsia pink. There is some blue in there, but it's actually not as blue based as some other vibrant pinks. So I'd say it's, you know, it's definitely cool in tone, but it's closer to neutral. This one here is 852. And this one is going to be a warm toned red. And here's 854. I'm just going to show you with the lip brush. And I think it's pretty useful to see what the lip brush looks like as well, because you can definitely get the colors a little bit more sheer with a brush as well. So here, let's see here. So it builds up so quickly. So that's 854. This is the one that is currently on my lips, and it's also the one with the promotional photos from Chanel. And we have two more. This is 858. Hard spot to swatch there. But you can see that this one has a bit of those berry tones in there. So there's a little bit more purple in this one. And it's, if you compare it over here to this one here, this is more of like, this one has warmer berry tones in it. So it's like berry mixed with a little bit of brick and some brown, whereas this one is more of those reddish berry tones. All right, so I went a little out of order. This is actually 868. So 858, put right here. So that's 858 there. And you can see that this is going to be a more blue-based red, and it's kind of like that classic red there. All right, so take a look at the shades here. We have 812, 814, 818, 822, 824, 828, 838, 852, 854, 858, 868. We're gonna take a look at a few comparisons. We're starting off with the Chanel Rouge Coco Blooms that came out last year. This one here is 116 Dream. And I want to show you how pigmented these are. You can see the Dream is going to be cooler in tone, but look, the pigmentation level with one layer is pretty equivalent. But these feel more like a Rouge Coco Flash does. It has more of a oily or slippery content to it. And you have to kind of let it set. And then the pigmentation will remain, but that glossy texture on top does fade. Just another one of those. We have number 110 Chance. You can see that Chance is going to be a little bit warmer, a little orangier than the 812 in the new ones. All right, and then we have 118 Radiant, which is one of my favorites. And this is more of a rosewood shade. You can see that the pigmentation is there, but the tonal look of this color is going to be more subdued. Now here is a Rouge Coco. This is the shade Adrian. Let's just put this up here at the top. Okay, and let's see, one sheer layer. You can see the sheerness versus building it up there. You can see that the color Adrian, it's a little bit more nude, not quite as peachy as 812, but they are fairly close. That. This one here is actually one of the Rouge Allure Velvet. So this is 227 Beige Puissant. Just wanted to compare the shade here. And you can see the pigmentation level. So this is going to be a little bit more golden and more brown. This is a Rouge Allure. This is from the number 5 collection. This is 191 Rouge Brut, but it's also a permanent shade in the line. We're gonna put this one right here. Okay, so it's a little bit more pink. It's more of like a salmon shade. It's like a warm salmon pink. Let's take a look at some of the reds. This is also from the number 5. This is 147 Emblematique. And this is like a true red, but it's a true blue-based red. So it's going to be closest to this one here, which is 838, which is actually more pink than red on my lips. Here's 157 Legendaire. Let's put this one right here. And let's just add a little bit of it right there as well. So you can kind of see it's a little bit more berry than this one, but brighter. It's going to be closest to this one here, which is 12, 14, 18, 824. And of course, we have the classic Pirate shade. So this is 99 Pirate. And you can see this is blue-based. It's not quite a perfect match with any of these, though. And here's 176 Independent. I mean, it's kind of like a warmer sheer red. It's going to be closest to 854. But it's a little bit cooler in tone than the one that I currently have on. This one here is from Holiday a couple of years ago. This is 847 Rouge Majesté, and I really wanted to see how this one compared, but it is lighter and brighter than I expected. 857 Rouge Noble. You know, Rouge Noble has just a little bit more purple in it than this one. This is 868. Let's put it up here next to this one. Yep, it's definitely more purple. It's kind of funny because it really doesn't look purple on. You can just really tell the purple tones when it's next to some of these other ones. And then the last one I wanted to look at is 107 or Beige. And you can see that that goes pretty well with 812. It's very similar to Adrian. Right, so these are all of my swatches and comparisons. I hope these were helpful. If you have additional requests, please leave them down below in the comments and I will try to include them in an upcoming video if I have the item. And I have to say, overall, I personally really like these lipsticks because I think they are very comfortable on the lips. I think they are, you know, I like the high pigmentation level because you don't have to worry about it wearing off. You can easily top it with a lip balm or anything, and it just looks exactly like it did when you freshly applied it. So, you know, it's not like you're using that lip balm to revive it really like you are with a regular lipstick. So I do like that high pigmentation aspect to it. And I like how comfortable it is on the lips and the fact that it doesn't feel greasy and it doesn't feel dry. So they kind of got that perfect balance there. Now, as for the refillable packaging, I think in concept or in theory, refillable packaging is a good idea. It seems like there would be less waste and so forth. I think in practice though, in reality, most people are not using up lipsticks so often that they are able to get to that refillable concept. And a lot of times it actually ends up creating more waste than another lipstick. It's also something that I feel like brands often use as a way, like when they're introducing refillable packaging into their lines, as kind of an excuse to be able to raise prices. So I do feel like that is kind of true. And I like the fact that they're refillable. I think they did a nice job making their refills feel nice and secure in here. They're really easy to use, but I dislike the fact that you have to actually remove the refill in order to see the color. And I dislike the fact that you cannot use just the refill without the case. You know, I personally would be buying the cases anyway, but I do, you know, I think it's nice to be able to have that as an option if you don't care about the packaging. Plus, it's a way to make it, if sustainability and less waste is really the main cause of change to refillable packaging, I do feel like refills would be able to be used without it, because people who are more environmentally conscious, they may choose to use just a refill and forego packaging just to create less waste. So, you know, it's neither here nor there, but that's kind of my opinion on the refillable packaging. That being said, I do think that these new lipsticks are fantastic. I don't regret purchasing the 10 shades that I did. I actually really like them. You know, we do have a few limited edition shades in here, and I will leave the limited edition shades up on the screen so you can read those. But 814 is one of the limited editions, and I have to say, out of the shades that I picked up, this is probably the one that I like the least on me, just because it is a little bit more overly warm. So if I were to leave out any of the ones that I purchased, it would be the 814 shade. And I hope this was helpful. So please let me know your thoughts down below. And I have all of the information on purchasing these down below in the description box. I, as always, purchased my Chanel items from the Aventura boutique in Florida, and my SA Jelissa and her associate Paloma. Those are the two individuals who helped me purchase these, and I will leave their information down below. Please give them a call or a text and let them know I sent you. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day. Stay safe and healthy.